Good morning, everybody. My name is Jeff Miller. I'm from the SCHEELS store in Eau Claire, Wisconsin. I run the archery shop there, and SCHEELS Corporation asked us to put a little video together here. We talked it over about just making your habitat better for deer and other wildlife, and this is my lease here in Wisconsin. It's a small acreage, 82 acres, so it's not really huge. So we kind of had some pretty good success here last year, and the big reason for a lot of our success was Mike Lindahl here from Domain Outdoors. I kind of gave up on my food plot here when I first got this property. It was about a 4-acre opening here you see behind us, and it was all tall horseweed. And of course, I had aspirations of making a lot of food plot in here, and for about a year and a half I couldn't get anything to go. So I recruited Mike and basically said, it's all yours. I can't do anything here, and he actually worked magic here. So if you look behind us, this is our old brassica plot from last year, and this is Big Sexy Mike. Yep. I'll let Mike take it over, but he can tell you what we kind of did here just to improve the property, and we'll show some of the other parts of the plot too, what it looked like before we started. But this is Mike Lindahl. Mike, take it over what we did here.
Well, the whole idea was to just create a better domain and improve our habitat year over year. And Jeff obviously had some problems with weeds and providing food, and we know that food is the driving force for does, fawns, eventually bucks. So what could we do to come in here and create a better domain? So it took a lot of work. Obviously it took some time to kill those weeds and till them under and do it repeatedly until we had some soil to work with, and then we chose our Big Sexy mix, a brassica mix that we knew could grow in adverse soil conditions, provide those forages in September, October, November, December, January. And really, I mean, it radically changed your hunting very quickly. I know your daughter shot her first buck over it. Yep. But the videos we saw, deer now kind of found this property as a food source. And now the goal is, how do we take that to the next step, make it a year-round food source so those deer call this place home? Yep. I mean, like I said, we saw videos of 20, 30 deer a night in here eating those radishes and kale and rape and brassicas. But now it's up to us to kind of reinvent this plot. Yep. So that's today our goal was come in here, take a look at it. There's a ton of soil available. Everything's been pretty much ravaged, it's gone. So we're going to go in and broadcast some cold season perennials. We talked about that earlier today. Right now, where you have cold season perennials established, it's green. Nothing else is green. And coming out of winter, those does, I mean, working on developing fawns, bucks just dropped antlers. So it's a tough time of year for deer to find forage. Yep. So if you have it established, we're going to establish some today, but you've given those deer a jump start, and it's just one way to make your property better year over year over year. Right. And that gap, what do I do when I plant brassicas in the summer? I have them till January, and then I've got that February to June or July gap again, and we're gonna fill that gap with clover and chicory, our hot chick mix.
In saying that, it's April 3rd today, so we're a little past the frost seeding stage. Yep. This isn't really considered frost seeding, but I told Mike, I said, I want something green here all summer. Last couple of years, this is my 3rd year. This is a lease I've got, and this is a 3rd year on it, and I have never had anything here in the summer. This has grown up in horseweed, basically, which isn't really bad to have horseweed. I mean, I don't mind having weeds for the deer, but we want to have a lot of food here too. So, and to maintain this plot, like I told Mike, they did a great job in August last year to get those brassicas in, but I want to maintain this all summer, and we can mow it if we get clover and chicory growing. That's the beauty of it. Or alfalfa, anything like that we can mow. So, but again, the main goal of this isn't going to be a how-to. We're not going to go through. Mike can touch on a lot of things as far as pHs and fertilizers, but I don't really want to do a how-to video. There's plenty of those out there. Just I want to try to show how we made this property better, and Mike was a big part of it with the domain seed and stuff. So mineral's another part of it. We're in Wisconsin. We can't dump mineral here because of all the CWD stuff going on, but anywhere you can dump mineral, this has been, anytime right now. Like Mike said, the deer are stressed right now. Even though we're in pretty good farm country here, there's not a lot of food out for them right now in April. So anything you can get in their bellies as far as minerals and calcium, stuff like that, helps the fawns, helps the bucks grow antlers, which is kind of our main goal. But I want to make this property, but we shoot turkeys here. We've got a lot of bear here. We've got every kind of wildlife here. I'm not just trying to help the deer, and I'm not just trying to help them to shoot them, although that is kind of always the major goal. But we just want to make this property better. We'll show you. We're going to do some, look at some water holes we put in here. I got a river flows through this property, but we still put a water hole in the woods behind me. and the deer use it. So even though there's a river here, so it's a good hunting spot also, but just all the wildlife uses that water hole we have too. But so this is going to be probably a 2 or 3 part series. Again, we're at April here. We're just going to do some, post-frost seeding, you might call it. I don't know, early spring seeding.
Overseeding, really. I mean,
overseeding.
There's a lot of folks that have brassica plots that look just like this one.
Yep.
It's bare and it's empty. What do I do with it? Yep. So the solution can be quite simple, actually.
Yep. Yep.
Anytime we till the soil, there's a chance that you're going to unearth weeds.
Yep.
And our goal, since you've got weed issues, is to not disturb it again until the summer.
Yep.
So we'll get chicory clover in the ground with hot chick, get it going. It's going to rain on Monday.
Yep.
So for us, that overseeding is perfect.
Yep. Overseed
before rain or frost seed when you got that freeze thaw. Historically, it'd be a great time to frost seed.
Yep.
Normally it's 60 or 40 during the day, 20 at night.
Yep.
But right now, it's 70.
Yeah, we had a real early
it's
spring.
It's been an early
this year
spring, but it's not as hard as people can make it out to be this time of year. Right. So it can be a really great time to improve your domain and continue to take those steps to making it better and better every year.
Yep.
So, and like you said on the mineral point, we can't use them here, unfortunately, but where you can, typically this time of year, the deer have used up all their reserves. I mean, February and March, they've kind of planned for. At that point, they're maxed out. So getting that calcium, phosphorus, trace minerals, all those vitamins and minerals into a doe for the fawns is huge to give those fawns a head start. And then obviously, like you said, give those bucks a head start too. The last thing that gets calcium and phosphorus is their antlers. Yeah. So put that into perspective.
And Mike's got a new mineral out this year called Recharge, and we'll show you that later on here too. We'll show you all the products he has to, again, just make your herd healthier. Again, we're thinking about the deer mostly, but all the wildlife is going to use this. Again, we got a lot of diverse habitat. Yep. Another thing too, this food plot is terribly sandy soil, so this has been a big challenge. I thought I was a pretty good food plot guy when I hunted like Buffalo County and stuff with the soil, just throw anything in the grows, but this is really, this plot really kicked my butt. So I give Mike kudos and his family to help me out here and get some stuff going.
It was mostly the shoots crew that did all the work. So
yeah, they're behind the scenes.
They're the muscle.
Yeah. So.
But yeah, I mean, this is one of those properties where liming it every year to help bring that pH up is going to help plants absorb nutrients. That's the key. pH is the reason plants are successful, because when it's 7 or neutral, they absorb 100% of the nutrients available. So the thing with sand is typically low organic matter content, but it's easier to increase the pH. So it's not always the worst thing. And then with those brassicas that we've got in there, that adds organic matter, helps pull nutrients into the upper layer. So it's a soil builder at the same time. So
and we'll show, we got a bunch. We just walked around the plot a little bit this morning, and there's all over this plot there's turnips that are there that are hollowed right out. They ate them right down to the dirt, so it's really a cool thing. I've got a little bit of oak in here, actually quite a bit of oak, but last year didn't have a good acorn crop. Our hunting was, again, I got a son and daughter that hunt. That's my main goal, is to get them on deer, and if they see deer, they have fun, like most people. And this was just incredible last year for the number of deer we had pouring into this plot. And my daughter, again, killed her first buck off here, so we'll probably show a picture of that later on. But we'll take some close-ups here of the turnips that I got eaten up all fall too, and it's really held. I picked up a nice set of sheds over on the far side here already in late January, so it adds to the whole season. I know everybody likes shed hunting, and that adds to it too when you got a lot of food here. So
also too, like to that point, and I know we found it with Jeff and Tim down on their property, but when you're tilling the soil and planting, it just adds a whole other element, because you've done the work. You see it grow, and then for you or your son or daughter to kill something in it, it's just another level of accomplishment.
Excitement and accomplishment. And I said, once you put seed in the ground, you all become farmers where you're watching the Weather Channel, seeing when it's going to rain and stuff like that. So we got rain coming next week, so we're just going to obviously do a little generic stuff here. You know, we're not going to get too in-depth into seeding and all that, because again, there's a lot of how-to videos out there. But again, we're just going to try to show, and again, we'll do more in the summer. We didn't talk about trail cameras and stuff like that, which is all part of the fun of hunting and how we utilize the food plot. I'll show a bunch of videos I had last year on my trail cameras from this plot. So we'll go through and start getting some stuff done here.
So this is your prototypical backwoods food plot location. April 3rd in Wisconsin. We've got no foliage on the trees, so it's a great time to come in here and plant a no-till plot like this. Now, no-till doesn't mean no work. You see we've got a steel garden rake here. It's going to take a little elbow grease, but with just a little bit of work, it doesn't take much to remove the leaves and the debris that are going to get in the way and allow for perfect seed to soil contact. It's additional forages for your deer and turkey, provides a nice little runway to your destination food plot. It's a great way to continue to improve your domain.
All right, another thing we just talked about out there, putting in a water hole on your property to create more diversity for the wildlife around here. This is a water hole by Earth Blinds out of Chippewa Falls, Wisconsin. We carry these at SCHEELS. This is a large one. They make a large one and a small one. This is approximately 120 gallon water hole. I do have a river flows through this property on the west side, but I found when I put this water up on top of the ridge, the deer utilize this quite often, all year round actually. And like we were talking about earlier, my food plot's about 50, 60 yards out here. This is a great staging area before they go out to get food, or after they leave the plot, they'll come in here and get a drink. But I've got numerous wildlife on here. We've got coyotes and bobcats and bears and turkeys, even utilize it. Owl comes down here every night, so a water hole just provides for all the wildlife. But this is a good way to put it where you want. I actually have a stand right there. You won't see behind you. This is a good hunting location. Mike and I were just talking. People think about water holes in the summer, but this actually gets utilized more during the rut than any time of year. I found killing a big buck is they don't need food during the rut. They'll lose 30, 40 pounds sometimes during the rut, but they always need water. So you sit here during the middle of the day and bucks know this is here after a little while, and they'll come get a drink quick and then go chase does again. So always consider putting a water hole in on your property too. Well, Mike and I were just talking, it's again early April here. This is kind of an early spring in Wisconsin. Everybody's kind of got cabin fever, cooped up. Can't ice fish anymore. The ice is just starting to go off the lake, so you maybe just getting your boat out of storage. Great time of year to get out on your property here and do some improvements. We were talking, obviously we're in Wisconsin. Mike's got a new mineral out this year from Domain called Recharge. Again, in Wisconsin we can't dump it, so the bags are sealed as you see here. We're going to do some clover and chicory, his hot chick and his comeback kid here. We also talked about a bunch of us have been shed hunting here for the last month and a half. A few of the antlers we've picked up. It's a great time of year to be doing that also. Ticks are just starting to come out, but otherwise it's a great time to do some turkey scouting. Just great. It's just a beautiful morning here. I mean, it was probably 50 degrees this morning, 45, and just a gorgeous day. Good time to be outside. So you want to take over and go through your products here, what we got going on today?
Yeah, so like we said, hunting season doesn't last long enough. So this is a great way to extend your season and get out with friends and family and shed hunt and get those cold season perennials planted. This is a great time to do it. April in Wisconsin, it's either freeze thaw, or you've got periodic rain. So great way to sow some clovers and some chicories into your last year annual plots, or establish new ones for that matter too. And then throughout the country, it's a perfect time to recharge those mineral sites. Deer are needing minerals and vitamins coming off a long winter, and it's growing season for them too. So you've got to think Mother Nature does a poor job providing anything right now, whether it's green forage or minerals. So it's a great way to give your deer a boost, and it's not just the bucks. We talk about that all the time, but the foundation of your herd is does. And they say a fawn that gets started right as a 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5-year-old has that head start. So like this property, it's progression. Every year it gets better and better. Yep. And with a full program, you've seen it and you'll continue to see it get better. And that's the fun part about April and May and this off season, is that's when you put the work in and yep. You reap the benefits later on.
In this particular property, but just what Mike was talking about, this is sand country, real sandy soil. Around me I got basically potatoes and some cornfields, so by October, November there's not much for food left here. So I got about a 4-acre opening as I mentioned, so I thought anything can get in here to green it up, give them forage for the animals throughout the year is going to make a big difference. And I can honestly say this is my 3rd year on this lease, and the first year I had some little spikes like that. I had 2 or 3 little spikes like that as 1.5 year olds, and last year I didn't have any. And I could pretty much attribute it to the nutrition that the deer are getting. This is a great genetic area. They just don't have great soil here. So anything we can do to improve it, and just like we talked about, it's just a fun time to get outside. We got a big group of guys here today, and just enjoy the beautiful weather with pretty minimal work. I mean, there's not a lot of weeds growing yet here, so I can just go and overseed my plot. It'll take me an hour, and the benefits you reap from just a little bit of work this time of year really pays dividends later on in the year. So
absolutely.
And again, we just love the trail camera stuff too. We're doing a lot of cellular. We filmed a few of the cellular trail cameras we're using. I can sit home now for the next couple of months and not even come to my land and get pictures sent to my phone. So today's technology is a great thing to improve your fun, basically, is what we're looking to do out here. So
it'll be fun to check in the next time too with kind of the steps we're taking to get ready for that fall planting.
Yep.
And by then you'll have some
Yep.
bucks grown, and
Yep.
It'll be kind of fun to watch the transformation take place.
Yeah, and again, if this gets well received, again, we plan on doing another one in July or August probably. Maybe we'll even check in before that and show, antlers start growing in Wisconsin late June, early July. We start getting some good antler growth. So right now I got a couple cameras out more for turkeys than anything else, but just to have them out and have some fun. But in late June, early July, we'll start getting some, get into the trail cameras seriously too, and we'll show you more on that. We'll do another segment, probably even 2 more segments before the hunting season. Then we even show some hunting stuff too on here. And once our food plots get established, we'll show what they turned out as too here and show the animals that are using them. So,
absolutely.
Yeah.